I'm Professor Margaret Rogers Van COOPS. Most people call me Dr. Margaret nowadays, but I started out life during World War II. I was born on June the 24th, 1942, which basically was Midsummer's Day. And people said of me back in those days that I had the gift. Well, what the gift was the ability to sit on people's laps, heal them, hear their dead relatives talking to me, and give them messages saying that they were happy in heaven. And that's all I knew. I was 5 years old by the time I was doing that. So we fast forward into when I was 21, and I became the youngest medium in the country. In those days, people believed that you had to be well over 60 and had lots of experiences of the world, and that in some way you would then be able to help people who were emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually depressed. Well, by the time I reached my grand age of 21, I had already been nursing, and I'd been working with a lot of people who've been wounded during the war. And there's a lot you can read about in my book, My Journey into the Oneness, so that you'll see how I evolved and grew. And as a result of my work in Europe and other parts, South America and Egypt, and so on, coming back to England and then to America and Japan, I've evolved tremendously over time and worked with great ascended masters from Siddhartha Buddha to the archangels to the brotherhood. And this is not to brag, but to say that we all can inspire and ascend to be able to talk to them. And I have written many, many books about metaphysical studies. In fact, I think there are 15 books on the market. But the latest one that I've written is very interesting because it was even a learning curve for me. It's called The Light Side of the Oneness. And what you'll read in that book is how we are all in some way ascending, and those that are already in ascension are descending. So if we think of a seesaw kind of going up and down, okay, there are times when those who are descending will bump into those who are ascending. So in that space, we have neutrality. What happens then when we have neutrality is an acceptance of all that is. So the light side of the oneness is all about how those great loving master teachers of the oneness are either coming into embodiment and manifesting some fantastic skills and talents that will in some way lead the way to a better future for all of us on earth. Some of them are mediums and will carry insights and inspirations from the oneness, from the aspects of fragmentation of the oneness who do not incarnate. You'll learn about all that in this book. And you'll also understand and learn how the dark side, which is another book that I wrote just before this one, correlates with the light side. So the two books are like a twin, they go together. And what you will understand is that we've all been in the dark side. In fact, even on earth here, we're in the dark side when we have a negative idea. But the dark side is what stimulates us to go out there and say, hey, there must be another way. And I'm looking for a very positive way right now. Well, of course, we might have an argument with ourselves and say, I can and I can't, and I will and I won't, and I shall and I shan't. But ultimately, we are driven by the energy of the oneness to balance. And this period now, with all the troubles that are going on in the world, not just with viruses, but also with floods, with insects swarming, with fires, earth, air, fire, and water is all productive in changing the way we think. And of course, the oneness has to give us insight and inspiration into who we are and why we're here. So when I channeled this book, The Light Side of the Oneness, I actually was giving you an opportunity to understand how we are all entwined in a pattern of evolution. We have completed 3,500 years of the Piscean Age. And as the Beatles said, who, by the way, I knew when they were 16, used to come and practice with Brian in the garage. And I told them that they would make it one day. Little did I know how well they would make it. So, anyway, that's by the by. But what is interesting to know is that everyone who has in the Piscean Age been here and made an impression on us, whether good or bad, was all about learning to focus and be central within self. And now we're in the Aquarian Age for another 3,200 or so, because everything's speeding up a bit quicker. And we will be learning to balance, to listen and learn and harmonize and integrate our skills. And those skills will come through the children as they grow up to be parents and their children, and we will be more inventive and more aware of one another. And I'm so excited to know that our next way of giving us heat, supplies, and so many more things will be through sound. So the oneness is going to stimulate us to know about subsonic sound, sound that we work with, and supersonic sound, which is beyond our hearing. So we are manifesting a new part of our being. Our brains are transforming. You've seen many wonderful children under 9 years old performing on television. You've seen scientific thoughts coming out of babies. You are amazed. Well, be ready to be amazed even more when you read the book, The Light Side of the Oneness. And when you understand through reading the dark side that you will be seeing a change in yourself. I'm always happy to answer any questions. So if you'd like to write to me, you will find my information underneath this video. So thank you for listening, and I hope you'll read the books and share them with other people, because the more people understand, the better world we're going to live in. Goodbye.